First, let me apologize for the new video imagery and clarify that I am not Anonymous, the cyber terrorist network, but merely adapting the visual effects. I like the anonymity of its ambience, and it gives me more of a, how should I say, form that is acceptable to the minds of mankind. Here I wish to share some philosophical opinions based from the observations of my culture and beliefs. It may be surprising to the world, but despite popular belief, those who practice true magic do have a belief in the one you call God. It's just another cultural perspective is all. Let me explain the law pertaining to the Magus Supreme, or in more modern terminology the Kwisatz Haderach Sage. There is a prophecy among us that one day a mystic will be born among us near the end times of the great cataclysm. He shall have mastery over the elemental forces as though he were a master of the arts. He shall be the living embodiment of the fifth element, in which the other four in unison make possible the life force. He shall become the focal point in which all things come into being. I am but one scribe of many. My people transcend time and space, so we have all seen of these things known to mankind as the beginning of existence. I shall record here my testimony of what transpired according to the visions and interpretation that I have understood as shown to me by the Kwisatz Haderach Sage, the source of creation. Also known as the Transcended Magus, the Kwisatz Haderach Sage, the Alpha and the Omega, or God. My people once had a name for him, and it was Elielanet, the king of the realm of light. This being exists in a dual state of existence, both physical and metaphysical, simultaneously and consciously. He was brought into being through the path of cause and effect. Something cannot come from nothing, and thus the fabrics of the cosmic balance played its hand of cause and effect to bring about the design of the physical source of the universe's first inertia of existence. Made from a point in time where the universe already had formed, yet existing in both the states that is what can best be described in words as an imagination-type intangible being or manifestation of the physical being's consciousness that exists without physical form and thus bypasses the laws of the physical universe. His other state has the power to bring his thoughts into reality. In this state he can transcend time and space at will without the use of magic. He can cast the most complex of spells without physical motion. He can transcend death and rise and maintain his own life even though mortally wounded, and his will is like some cosmic tarot card that can shift and alter the course of events as they are happening. However, he is limited in his cosmic power when pertaining to the physical body. Only the intangible state, or as some have come to call, the Holy Spirit, can transcend time and space. His physical form cannot nor can it preform the actions of that which makes him the source of creation without his intangible state that works like a mediator. All this, however, is but a phase in what can be described as the journey through the life of this being. The destiny of his purpose as the creator of the universe was only a phase at one point in his existence, designed by the fabrics which called him into being. Once his purpose of creating the universe had been completed, his role as the creator also receded in order for the fabrics of all that is could remain uncorrupted. Though he is still a powerful being afterward, there is no ascending back to that point as the creator. During the very beginning of particle formation, and the beginning of all that is the being which was that first inertia cause, was actually a combined state of three different beings. In order to achieve the state of transcendence necessary to attain the complete awareness and understanding needed to be the creator, he converged three separate beings and incorporated them into his conscious. These other two beings joined with his thoughts and mind through the intangible state which allowed them to exist as one being, even though separated by thousands of years from each other for the duration of this event. Nothing is known all about the other two beings, only that they represented the two equilibriums of balance. One was an ultimate manifestation of virtue, and the other was the ultimate state of evil, as he was the conduit and physical vessel for both beings. Together they made the triune Godhead and were a being of what can be defined as omnipotent, omnipresent and omniscient. Once the universe had been created, as he descended from his state of transcended being, he separated the triune by incarnating himself as Jesus of Nazareth, using the cycle of life and death to separate the three beings so they could return to their respective places. This testimony is merely a translation of what I have witnessed while traversing the mystical artifact known as the Mirror of Time, designed by one of my predecessors. And yes, for those who are curious, my name is John. Now I bring you a word from the manifested angelic persona of the living consciousness of existence known as Metatron. Know this now, and let he who hath wisdom know the hour of the coming of the Lord is near. We are in the times of the rapture. Though these people suffer in sickness, it is nothing compared to what is to come. I am he who is called Yeheol, and I have come to give you a message of the things to come. Those who fight to save lives and help their fellow man in the face of death from this virus are the righteous, and those whom they work to save are the innocent, and they shall be spared from the tribulation to come. For I shall reveal to thee what is to pass, and you shall know what challenges await, and it shall therein be a task upon you to face what I will say is to come. This is the rapture, but the wrath of God is to come soon. You all know that it is. Your scientists and leaders have warned that the global state of the world's climate is going to drastically change soon, and it shall over the next 5 years until 2029, when the star wormwood shall appear in the sky and shall mark the beginning of the horrors to come. Great calamity and disasters shall weigh heavy upon you until then, but at the time of the passing of Apophis, when the scientists reveal that they have not been able to develop the technology needed to stop the asteroid in 2029, and that its trajectory shows it will collide with the Earth, chaos and panic will turn the world upside down. People will desperately attempt to escape the Earth before it returns exactly 7 years later. This will mark the 7-year period before the end of days and the destruction of our world. Be warned, sons of Adam, wormwood will not come alone, it shall appear with companions not as large but equally as destructive. It shall pass closely to the moon, and its companions shall collide with moon as they pass. This must not come to pass. The moon is vital to the shield that makes life possible here. There is a chance mankind can survive, for after the time of tribulation is the time of Jubilee, when God shall come down from heaven and make a new covenant with man, and a new heaven shall be made without the evil of wormwood to ever return, for there will be no place for it. So it is written that humanity will endure, but you must not lose hope or faith. You can destroy it, however the debris will rain fire and destruction from the skies, as though a third of the stars had been tossed down to earth. Let he who hath wisdom know these words and see its truth. May the Father have mercy upon you all, and hold fast to faith. Well, that was interesting. A short note from the author. Many of those who consider themselves faithful may question the validity of what I have seen, saying to beware the deceptions of those who seek evil that may mislead you. To those I say this. I am well aware of the deceivers and false prophets, however this is not one of those instances. Those who have died and experienced being in the presence of God will know what I'm saying here. That when you're in His presence, it is very clear to whom you are standing before. Every fiber of your being agrees with the fact that He is who He says, and that sensation continues throughout the time you are speaking with Him. So I do not deny the fact that it was He who revealed these things to me. I am not a church-going person, for the deceptions of those in our distant past have turned the world sour towards those of us who come from the mystic circle, but that does not mean there are not believers among us. We here at Hell Incorporated are concerned about our customers. Really? So we have procured this memorandum from the CEO of the company while he was sleeping to show you, the customer, that your torment and suffering is truly our efforts done in your best interest. It reads as follows. I'm here on behalf of Hell Incorporated, the Good Hands people, to offer you a business proposal of a lifetime ... in your afterlife. You see, with all the millions of souls in hell currently and the millions that will soon be arriving, mass population crowd control is essential, and Hitler informed me recently that he is resigning as vice president of our PR, population retaliation, department, and stated that he'd rather go back to getting pineapples shoved up his than be on board for that scene. So after careful consideration, under threat of a massive strike and mutiny staged by a million-man march of the worst Yeheols that ever existed, I've decided to open a new branch of unholy cable network-style entertainment built upon nothing remotely close to any true events happening at that time and derived of strictly bullshit lies and fabricated TV media coverage. Which is what led me to discover your media videos. Of course, this offer would only pertain to those members of the insert confidential censor here who are not actually going to be going to hell, as they would be essentially contracted by the man upstairs to us for assisting in giving the tormented souls brief moments of no suffering that is in principle much like allowing someone you're trying not to kill just yet by allowing them to come to the surface to breathe for a moment before you continue to drown them. Of course, as can be expected, I haven't exactly run this by the flying diaper nugget stain with wings upstairs, but I'm sure after kidnapping him and duct taping him to a high chair and forcing him to watch the movie Stay Tuned 666 times, he'll be more than content with supporting this endeavor. Please feel free to contact me anytime before Armageddon to inform me of you and your associates' agreement to this merger of business and intellectual property rights after death, and we can hammer out some sort of binding and completely obligational contract I've already drawn up for all parties to sign, both above and below. Looking forward to hearing from you. XOXOXO and kisses, Lucifer Beelzebub Mephistopheles, CEO of Hell Incorporated, a subsidiary of the Isaso Company.
Back to Hong Kong, Terra one ton, love me, mother love me long time, sucky, fucky, 1 ton, Hong Kong, one ton, Hong Kong, 1 ton, one time, love me long time, feed of my long schlong, go back to Hong Kong, I'll send you back to Hong Kong, Terra one ton, love me, mother love me.